All right, thanks, guys. The Heat take on the Raptors. 12 o'clock Eastern tip-off this Sunday. Toronto opened the betting as the 7.5-point favorite, total at 215. Miami 6-4 against the spread in their last 10. They do rank first in the NBA in road points allowed. They're also third in road field goal percentage. Now, Toronto, on the other side, they rank 24th in home offensive rebounding. They're also 20th in defending the three ball at home. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 3-1 to the over in their last 4. Miami 2-1 to the over in their last 3. Give me the Miami Heat plus 7.5. Not buying that hook, leaving it out there for Don McDonald in the over 215 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some, how's the collar looking? Looks a little weird with this pattern. Anyway, I want to welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's NBA and MLB action. But before we get into that, just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. There's plenty of free content there. We do daily picks on that site. Check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. All right, let's go ahead and hop back into some more lines and personal leans for free. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Spurs, Cavaliers, 3 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. San Antonio open -8 up to 8.5, totals 219. Cleveland ranks 9th in defensive rebounding, 5th in free throw percentage at home. Love is questionable for the Cavs, but they did cover 5 out of their last 10 ball games. Now San Antonio, completely different story. They failed to cover in 7 out of their last 9. They've also won just 15 out of 40 games away from home this season. And one more thing to note about the Spurs, they rank 24th in road defensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, Cleveland 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Give me 2 dogs in a row. I'll take Cleveland plus 8.5 in the over 219 in that matchup there. Next game, Thunder, Timberwolves, 3:30 Eastern tip-off in Minnesota. OKC open -5, total open 230, and since those markets opened that one up, we're seeing steady movement toward OKC on the spread. We're also seeing movement upward on the total up to 230.5. So once again, the Thunder open 5 up to -5.5, total open 230 up to 230 and a hook. Gibson is doubtful for the T-Wolves, but despite that fact, they are 2-0 against the number in their last couple of games. They're scoring 115 points per contest on their home court. Now OKC on the other side, they've won just 4 out of their last 10 straight up. They've also failed to cover in 6 out of those 10 games. They are second to last in three-point shooting on the road, and they rank 28th in road free throw percentage. Now, total-wise, OKC's 2-1 to the under in their last 3. Minnesota 60% to the under in their last 10. I'm going to take my 3rd dog in a row. That is unheard of out of Brock Page Productions. That's going to be Minnesota plus 5.5 and the under 230.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Hornets, Pistons. 4 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Detroit. The Pistons open 6.5, total 214.5, and that's where we're at right now. 6.5 and 214.5. Charlotte, Williams and Zeller are out. They've also won just 12 out of 39 games away from home this year. Detroit on the other side ranks 7th in home points allowed. They also rank 5th in home defensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, we're looking at a Detroit squad who is 5-3 to the over in their last 8. Charlotte is 60% to the over in their last 10. We're going to finally lay some chalk here. Give me Detroit -6.5 and the over 214.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Nets, Pacers, 5 o'clock Indiana. Pacers are -5, totals 218.5. Allen Crabbe is out for Brooklyn. Collison is questionable for Indiana. The Pacers are 9-1 straight up in their last 10 meetings with Brooklyn, if you're into historical trends. Indiana is 29-11 straight up on their home court this year. They also rank 4th in offensive field goal percentage. Now, total-wise, Indiana's just 15-25 to the over at home this year. Give me the Pacers -5 and the under 218.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Mavericks, Grizzlies, 6 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Memphis. No line on this game right now. Doncic is questionable for Dallas. Noah and Conley are questionable for Memphis. Memphis does rank second in home points allowed, fourth in home defensive field goal percentage. Dallas ranks 26th in offensive field goal percentage. They've also won just 8 out of 39 away from home. That's terrible. Give me Memphis 107-105, getting the job done in the outright game. Next game, Atlanta, Milwaukee. Did I miss a bunch of games? I guess so. I guess there was a bunch of games that had no lines on them. Wait, am I in the right thing? Yeah, I guess so. A bunch of games that didn't have lines on them. We have a full slate. Am I looking at the right thing here, guys? Is this Sunday? Yeah, tomorrow. Eat Raptor. Okay. There's a bunch of games that I have no information on. But anyway, Atlanta, Milwaukee. That is wild. Where am I at here? I'm all befuddled. Atlanta, there it is. Atlanta, Milwaukee, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Milwaukee. No line for this game as well. Bazemore and Werder are questionable for the Hawks. Ilyasova and Snell are questionable for Milwaukee. Once again, no line in this one. I do predict a win out of these Bucks. Give me Milwaukee 120-107, getting the job done in the outright game. And then this is my last game I have notes for. I didn't realize there was a full slate. But anyway, it's going to be Phoenix taking on Houston, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Houston. The Rockets open 16.5, total 225. And since those markets open this one up, we're seeing money on Houston. We're also seeing movement downward on the total. We're looking at minus 18 and 224.5. So once again, Houston opened 16.5 up to minus 18. Total open 225 down to 224 and a hook. Holmes is questionable for the Suns. DeAndre Ayton is out for Phoenix as well. Now, Houston ranks 25th in offensive field goal percentage. They're also 28th in offensive rebounding and 22nd in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting 47% from the field against them. A couple more things to add. The Rockets are 27th in home offensive field goal percentage. They're shooting just 44% in that category there. They're also second to last in home offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Phoenix is scoring just 107 points for a contest on the road. So although I think they'll keep it close, I don't think we'll see a whole lot of scoring in this one. I do like Phoenix plus 18 and the under 224.5 in that matchup there. And I apologize, guys. I didn't realize I missed a bunch of games. But anyway, we have Magic Celtics 7:30 tip-off in Boston. We also have Wizards Knicks 7:30 tip-off in Madison Square Garden. Man, I missed a bunch of games. I don't even know if I want to post this. But anyway, we'll go ahead and do it. Give myself a little half day when it comes to NBA. I'm sure we'll get a ton of dislikes on this, but so be it. Clippers at the Warriors, 8:30 tip-off in Golden State. Then we have Nuggets Trailblazers, 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Rip City. Then we have Pelicans Kings, 9 o'clock tip-off in Sacramento. And finishing off, we have Jazz Lakers, 9:30 Eastern tip-off in the Staples Center in Los Angeles. All right. Let's go ahead and slide into some MLB action. Once again, I apologize about that, guys, as we have some games finishing up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Sunday slate, and I believe we have all the MLB games here. So if I skip one, we'll just make a prediction on the fly. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with Minnesota at Philadelphia, 1:05 Eastern first pitch in Citizens Bank Park. Now, when I did the notes for this game, we were still in game time action for these a lot of these games, so just bear with me when it comes to the numbers. But anyway, Philadelphia opened the betting as the $1.20 favorite, total at 8.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a nickel move toward the Phillies. They're now $1.25. So once again, the Phillies open 120 up to minus 125. Total's 8.5. We have Berrios for the Twins, Eflin for the Phils. Berrios is 1-0 with a 1.84 ERA. He went 7 and looks like 7 1/3 in his last start. 0 earned runs and 10 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Eflin on the other side, 1-0 on the year, 0.00 ERA. from that lone start. He went 5 innings in his last start, 0 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts. Now, the Fightin' Phils are first in runs scored. They're also